Bob Odenkirk is back as our favorite suburban dad that turns out to be a nobody, but is actually a pretty badass assassin. And yes, Nobody 2 is better than the first, and it's the perfect way to end your summer movie season. What's going on, buddy? Welcome back to a brand new movie review. Today we're discussing Nobody 2. This is about, of course, once again, Hutch Mansell, workaholic assassin now, who decides to take his family on a much-needed vacation to a small tourist town of Plummerville. However, he soon finds out that Plummerville is a corrupted theme park operated with a shady sheriff and a bloodthirsty crime boss, and Hutch must not be a nobody anymore. This is, again, the sequel to Nobody, which for me was not a pleasant surprise. It had a great director, it had Bob Odenkirk, and the action looked phenomenal from the trailer, and the film ended up being an awesome blast at the films. It was one of my favorites of that year, and I'm so happy that we actually got a sequel, and I cannot emphasize enough, if you want great action films, you gotta keep supporting them. Go support Nobody 2 this weekend. I'm already giving you guys my stamp of approval. I loved my time with this movie. Genuinely think you will as well, especially if you loved the first Nobody or just liked it. You never even saw the first Nobody, but you are a fan of John Wick or just great action films, then this is truly enough the franchise for you. Nobody 2 just, again, goes above and beyond, better than what Nobody did. But I don't think this film would be as great without the first Nobody. This is just a sequel that doubles down on everything that you truly want from an action film, and it's great for that. So I'm very excited to talk about this movie. So please leave your thoughts down below. Hit that like and subscribe button. Without further ado, let's dive into my pros, which, first off, can we just talk about Bob Odenkirk for a second? Massive fan of Bob Odenkirk, mainly from Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, specifically Better Call Saul. He was amazing in Breaking Bad, do not get me wrong, but the stuff and the performance he turned in Better Call Saul turned out to be one of my favorite things of the last 10 years. And I've really loved him, seeing him in the comedic realm and also in the dramatic realm, and it's amazing to see him recontextualizing his career once again into the action vein, being able to pull now from the dramatic stuff, the comedic stuff, and put it all into this kind of action satire, which in a way is a satirical nature on its own. Because Nobody 2, very much is, in a way, I full on believe this, that Hutch Mansell is Kevin McAllister all grown up and now is McAllister Wick, but his name's just Hutch Mansell. Hear me out on this. I mean, genuinely. Kevin McAllister, by the end of the Home Alone, he loves his family. He's a family guy, and so is Hutch in here. But also, Hutch, at the end of both of these movies, devises a lot of traps, have lots of plans to kill many, many people. Kevin McAllister tried killing people that tried to rob his house. I promise you right now, I think Hutch either took inspiration or definitely is Kevin McAllister in a different way. But he also, trained to be an assassin, so he's, badass like John Wick. So he's literally, if Kevin McAllister became an assassin and decided to use his Home Alone traps and mix it with John Wick action to kill people. And also, if you've never seen Nobody, I hope that, very much intrigues you to want to see this movie now, because it's basically John Wick meets Home Alone in every sort of way. And I love it. This is a really great summer movie because they're going on summer vacation, and now I'm getting off on a tangent. Going back to Bob Odenkirk, I really love what he's been doing in his career, and he's amazing in this. He was amazing in the first Nobody. I love the action scenes that he was able to pull off, and you can definitely tell that he even trained more and more for this movie, and he looks amazing, but it's also the way that they shoot the action in here. The action in here, is right on par with the first one, but it feels a little bit more vibrant. It feels a little bit more fun. They feel more confident behind the camera, which I guess, taking a little side note over to Timo, the director, who the second I saw Timo was going to be directing this, he's an amazing director in everything that he's ever done. Very excited to see what he does with The Beekeeper too, because the first Beekeeper was a decent movie. I think he's going to be able to emphasize this to a whole other degree. And Nobody 2, he already took what was basically a fantastic action movie, but doubles down, takes everything that worked in that movie and makes it even better. And the little side notes that maybe were a little bit weaker in that movie, he makes stronger. And I think for me, that's one of the things that I really was a massive fan of in this movie, is the fact that he doubles down on those action scenes and makes them vibrant, more fun, more insane at times. And I think Bob Odenkirk very much sells those sequences in such a brutal but incredible manner, and I absolutely loved it. For me, I found that each action sequence got better and better than the last, and I also really like how he infused the action into a storytelling device. Now, The first Nobody, it was like story, action, story, action. What Timo does a really good job in here is the fact that he edits it so it's like one of the earlier action sequences. It's like you see Bob Odenkirk go in to do the thing. It doesn't happen. You don't see it. And then he goes back and starts reiterating what had happened. And it really makes for the action scene to feel fresh and very much the whole sequence to feel freshly paced out. And I felt that a majority of the sequences felt that way. As you see action scenes play out, you do get story rewards in there. And it always felt like a part and a piece of the story, and specifically going towards things. The same thing that Timo also does in here is he doesn't worry about family antiques or relationships or things that may bog down the pacing in the story. He knows what the audience wants to see. We want to see Bob Odenkirk kill people. Like, that's what we're there to see. But he's able to do it in a way that makes you, once again, care for the characters going involved in here, care for the family element, but also just in general care for the situation at hand and curious to see where it plays out. Even if you know predictability-wise, you probably know how it's going to play out. For me, I really like that. And again, I think that works because of Timo. It never felt slow in its pace. I think that actually gives an added bonus to Connie Nielsen's character, who in so many other films, this character would be the most annoying character in the entire world. And Connie Nielsen, once again, plays it right. And I think she's even stronger in here. And I think they used her really well. And the alongside goes this as well as his kids. His kids are also great. Just like RZA and Christopher Lloyd, they're also used in a standout way that not just leads it to be fun, but fresh. And I love, love, love this. I think Lloyd in this is like, even though he's very one note, it's so great. And RZA, like, he's kind of a standout in here. I really liked him in the first one, but like, for the small little stuff they use him in here, awesome. Newcomers, of course, Colin Hanks, I think, is really fun. John Ortiz is also great. But Sharon Stone, I think, is going to be a major talking point for a lot of people. Now, for me, I love how much fun she's having with this role. Love how much fun she's having with this role. Like, I think she was such a blast. I do have some issues with her character overall. We'll talk about that more in my issues, but besides that, I think Stone did a stellar job in this, and I love how much she was hamming it up, because again, it goes to more of the vibrant tone that Timo is very much setting here. I've talked about the action, I've talked about the performances, and I've also already talked about Timo itself, but the last thing I really want to mention and just really double down on is how much this film feels so much sharper edge and confident in its personality and its direction compared to the first film. The first film had really great direction in terms of action and the story it wanted to tell, but this one really much separates itself a little bit more from the action films going all around here who are trying to be like John Wick. And while again, if they ever really wanted to tie Nobody and John Wick together, they probably could find a way. They do not need to. I think Nobody 2 is in its nice little pocket of itself where it really much is and fits that flair for John Wick fans, but specifically feels separate enough, because this film is so short, it's compact, and it's action-packed. And that's the thing that I was really a fan of, is that I never felt like there was wasted time or wasted breath. I never felt like I needed to see more of or less of something, because there was always something going on and always something that intrigued me. You laugh, you smile, you giggle, you enjoy yourself watching this. And again, when you go to a summer movie, I feel like Nobody 2 and The Naked Gun are like kind of like the nice 1-2 punch, because they're both an hour and a half, and one provides the laughs, and Nobody 2 definitely has laughs to it, but it provides that action that a lot of people have been wanting. And I think a lot of action films get bogged down in so much exposition or so much melodrama. Sometimes it does hinder that experience. I think Nobody 2 just knows what the audience wants. More of Bob Odenkirk murdering bad people. Badass in amazing ways. And this, I mean, the tools they give him are ludicrous. Like I've mentioned, the third act, like where the third act takes place at, the second you start seeing it all get set up, you're like, oh my God, I know where this is probably going to go. And then as it plays out, it's better than you could imagine. For issues, I genuinely think, as much as I like Sharon Stone in the role, I think the villain itself is the weakest part. Just like I found the first film also had a pretty weak villain as well. And there is one storyline that is pretty lingering in here that is set up very early on, and I thought it was going to go one way to kind of like snip that all up, but it never did. So I imagine that's probably going to be tied up in a third film, which I hope we get a third movie. I would love to see another Nobody, but if not, I mean, I'll just leave it there. But it was a little weird, like, but regardless, I guess that's like me more nitpicking. I found Nobody 2 to be the perfect way to end the summer movie season. Once again, imagine Kevin McAllister all grown up, still crafting Home Alone style traps, but now with the John Wick level action. You get McAllister Wick here, guys. It's Timo building off the first film perfectly and setting a very sharper tone that is funnier, but also like still grittier at the same time. I don't know how he made it work, but he did. And Odenkirk, I genuinely believe this guy's the man. I need more nobodies. I thoroughly really enjoyed this one. I think this is such a great movie to go out and see at the theater. So with all that said, I'm going to give Nobody 2 a 4 out of 5. Thank you so much again, guys, for watching this. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe button, comment down below your guys' thoughts. Did you like the first Nobody more? Did you like this one? Are you more excited for Nobody 2? Have you not even seen the Nobody franchise? Let me know down below. And of course, until next time, stay classy.